Good afternoon, class, and today we are going to do some comprehension. Standard 4 comprehension. And we're going to enter into the world of fairies, into the magical gardens where we are going to learn how to understand comprehension. I am reading from Vidya Maharaj, Comprehension Made Simple, page 19, passage 9, titled Inventions. People have been inventing things for thousands of years. A whirlwind of inventions has become part of our daily lives. Some of them are extremely useful, others might be considered hilarious. The silly inventions often don't get much attention, but the really useful ones can make an enormous difference in the way we live. Thinking about all these inventions can make a person feel dizzy, yet it also can make us aware of just how much inventions change our lives. Can you imagine what your life would be like without electric lights, television, computers, or automobiles? Nowadays, we do not even think about all these handy things that give us so much independence. There was a time, though, when they did not exist. Before the wheel was invented, people had to carry loads on their backs. They also had to drag heavy things behind them. With the wheel, people were able to build carts and wagons. This helped them move heavy things much more easily. It also helped them move larger loads. Before the seed drill, farmers planted seeds by simply throwing them on the ground. This wasted a lot of seeds. When the seed drill came along, farmers could make straight rows of holes in the ground. Then they could drop their seeds into these holes. Farmers used fewer seeds and had more control over where they planted crops. This helped them grow more crops, which meant more food for people. The first cars had to be started using a hand crank. This crank sometimes was hard to turn. It was not convenient in rain and cold weather. Charles Kettering was convinced that there had to be a better way. He invented the electric self-starter. This invention made it possible for people to start the engine of a car by pushing a button. While flying a kite during a storm, Ben Franklin discovered that lightning conducts electricity. This little bit of creative mischief led him to invent the lightning rod. Before his invention, people had problems protecting their while flying a kite during a storm. Ben Franklin discovered that lightning conducts electricity. This little bit of creative mischief led him to invent the lightning rod. Before his invention, people had problems protecting their houses from lightning damage. The lightning rod protects buildings and ships from lightning damage. It has saved a lot of property from being destroyed, and it has saved many lives. We welcome inventions that make our lives safer, better, and easier. Even silly inventions have their place. Think about how far all of our inventions have brought us. Can you imagine the exciting things that might be next? So, this passage has 10 questions, and I'm going to show you how to understand and answer these questions in full sentences. First question. According to the passage, what has become part of our daily lives? So, this is how you answer a comprehension question. You take part of the question and you rearrange your words to form your answer. So, over here it says, according to the passage, what has become part of our daily lives? You can say, according to the passage, inventions has become a part of our daily lives. And there's your answer. Number 2. A. List 2 inventions you know which have become part of our life. You can say television and computers are 2 inventions which have become part of our lives. Now, B. Use another word from the passage that means the same as silly. So you're going to look through the passage and read it over again. So if you read the first passage, you could see the line. Let me read the whole thing. People have been inventing things for thousands of years. A whirlwind of inventions has become part of our daily lives. Some of them are extremely useful. Others might be considered hilarious. So the word we are looking for that is the same as silly in the passage would be hilarious. So you could answer this question by saying another word from the passage that means the same as silly is hilarious. Now number 3A. Based on the passage, what has given people independence? Let's look back at the passage. So you're going to answer saying based on the passage, the inventions of electric lights, television, computers, or automobiles has given people independence because it changed their lives. And that's your answer. And that will be found in the second paragraph. Now moving on. B. Number 3B. Give 2 examples of handy things you think that have given people independence. You can say electric lights and television. Then number 4. Give the meaning of the following words as used in the passage. A. Convince. Line 23. You go to line 23 and you read it and see if it could give you a hint on how the word is placed to say what does it mean. So I'm going to line 23. So it says Charles Kettern was convinced that there had been a better way. So I would say the meaning of convince would be is that he is certain it is true. Now B. Enormous. Line 4. Go to line 4. But the really useful ones can make an enormous difference in the way we live. So how it is placed here, I could say a huge. It means enormous also means huge. So C. Exists. Line 11. Go to line 11. Before line 10. Handy things that gave us so much independence. There was a time though when they did not exist. So they are asking about the word exist alone, right? So to exist means to have existence, to be there. Then D. Convenient. Line 22. It was not convenient in rain and cold weather. It means it is not suitable, right? It is not appropriate or agreeable for that weather conditions, right? But you're not going to put weather conditions, you're just going to put it is not suitable. Now we are going on to number 5. Based on the passage, how did people have to carry loads before the wheel was invented? So you could say people had to carry loads on their backs or drag heavy things behind them before the wheel was invented. So you see, I took part of the question and I rearrange the words and make my own answer. So that is what you have to do to give complete sentences. You cannot put one word answer. Your teacher is going to give it wrong. Now number 6A. Explain how the invention of the wheel was helpful to people. So you can start off saying the invention of the wheel was helpful to people because with the wheel people were able to build carts and wagons, and this helped them to move heavy things much more easier. And there you have it, your answer. I took some words from the passage and I took some words from the question and I combined it and rearranged the words to get my answer in full sentence. Now 6B. What is the main idea of paragraph 4? So we're going to go down to paragraph 4 and read paragraph 4. and analyze it and see what is being repeated constantly here, what is being talked about and stressed on, and then you'll be able to find the main idea. So here it is. Before the seed drill, right, seed drill, we talk about seed drills, farmers planted seeds by simply throwing them on the ground. Okay, this wasted a lot of seeds. When the seed drill came along, again you see the word seed drill, farmers could make straight rows of holes in the ground. Then they could drop their seeds into these holes. Farmers used fewer seeds and had more control over where they planted crops. This helped them grow more crops, which meant more food for people. So, the main idea of paragraph 4 is all about the seed drill before its existence and after it was introduced to solve a problem farmers had. And that's the answer. Now number 7. List 2 advantages of the invention of the seed drill. Okay, you can list it. Okay, so 1, it can make straight rows of holes in the ground. 2, because of it, farmers use fewer seeds and have more control over where they planted their crops. Or you could say for number 2, the second advantage is that this helped them grow more crops because they wasted less seeds and more seeds was able to grow up into crops. You understand? So then you could say, okay, number 8a, based on the passage, what was used to start the first car? Alright, let's go back. Let's look for the passage, which part of the paragraph that talk about cars. Okay, that would be paragraph 5. The first cars had to be started using a hand crank. Okay. So you're going to say, an hand crank was used to start the first car. And that's the answer. Now B, 8b. For what was Charles Kettering famous? Use details from the passage to support your answer. Okay, so first you're going to say what he is famous for, and then you're going to use some details, okay? So you're going to answer like this. Charles Kettering was famous for inventing the lightning rod. Then you could use a detail from the passage and add on, saying when he was flying a kite during a storm, he discovered that lightning conducts electricity. And that's your answer. Now moving on to 9b. Based on the passage, how is the lightning rod useful? Use details from the passage to explain your answer. Okay. The lightning rod is useful because it protects buildings and ships from lightning damage. It has saved a lot of property from being destroyed and it has saved many lives. So that would be your answer. So number 10, what do you think is the purpose of this passage? Use 2 details of the passage to support your answer. So, when they say to suggest something, when they ask you to suggest something, you always start off your answer with I suggest. So in this case, they say what do you think is the purpose of this passage? So you are going to say that I think the purpose of this passage is, and that's how you're going to start off your answer. So I think the purpose of this passage is to show how much inventions have changed our lives for the better good. Use 2 details in the passage to support your answer. So I will use a line from the last paragraph which says, we welcome inventions that make our lives safer, better and easier. And then I'm going to use another detail which says, from the first paragraph, but the really useful ones can make an enormous difference in the way we live. It has other answers there, but this is just 2 I'm going to use for the details to support my answer. And there you have it. That's the end of the passage. Let me know if you understand or if you do not understand. You could type in the comment section. below the video. You could type your answers, you could type your questions. If you want me to read up on a story or go to a specific passage in the same book, Vidya Maharaj, Comprehension Made Simple, Level 4. If you have any comprehension that you need help with, just text the name of the page in this book and I will do it.